One call, SCIZZA. Mr. SCIZZA. One call, SCIZZA. Mr. SCIZZA. One call.
What made you decide to go to barber school? So what I'm going to tell everybody is I didn't see Yoshi for a long time, many years.
Yeah. Since
And
high
then-
school.
It's crazy that we both signed up for barber school same time. I walked in. It's crazy.
I walked in and bumped into each other.
I
not
walked
knowing
into
nothing.
what do they call it? What do they call it? When you-
Orientation?
I walked into orientation, bro.
Shit, that's crazy.
Like, hey, I know you.
I always feel weird. I've always been super quiet. I don't like to talk to nobody. I keep to myself. If somebody talks to me, that's when I talk. And so it's crazy that I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah.
But
It's crazy.
right?
He doesn't like none of you.
I'm super shy, bro. I'm super shy, but I'm going into this orientation feeling awkward as shit. Don't want to talk to nobody. Super shy. I walk in. I'm like, Yoshi, what the fuck you doing here? I didn't even know he cut hair.
Yo, I remember seeing you and just being like, again, like, you did not expect to see anyone you know. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like a...
And I cut you a few
not too
times in
long
your
ago.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Before that.
It was like, I saw you and it was kind of like a comfort sense, but it was cool. At least I'm going to
was
go through this
super
with
comfort.
someone you know. I didn't
super
expect to know
comfort.
anyone, which wasn't a bad thing. It was like, yo, this is a business thing. This is a step towards...
I was just there to get my license.
Exactly.
I knew how to cut already.
Nothing more. So prior to that, just to get in, I started cutting hair more. So at all these jobs I had, I started building up clients with my coworkers. They started becoming my clients. And I guess my name started going around a little bit because I started having like shops ask about me or friends try to push me to work at what shop they get a haircut at or whatever the case is. And I remember this guy named Roger. You remember when I worked at International Barbershop?
Yes.
I cut your, that's when I was going to school.
By
I was there.
Hooters?
Yeah, by Hooters. So Roger, I believe he was from Trinidad. So super cool guy. He just knew people that I knew, and he kept pushing me to come work for the shop. So definitely a big influence on getting me actually into the shop to working there, you know. And constantly seeing him random places. Chipotle, he's in line at Chipotle. I'm over here, he's in line at here. He's like, yo, when are you gonna come to the shop? And I had every excuse. I don't have the right clippers, you know, some other time, whatever.
Was that fear? Was that lack of confidence? What was that?
It was probably a mix of a lack of confidence, but also just like not really wanting to pursue that. Like it was something I liked doing, but it wasn't something I wanted to do necessarily. I liked it, but I didn't think of it as a career. It wasn't like barbering was cool. Now barbering's cool. People are wanting to be a barber. It wasn't like you wanted to be a barber. It's kind of like a second, third job. It was like you had a job that didn't work, and that was like a fallback, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, he kept pushing me, and I actually like took the initiative. I was all right, let me check out his shop. You know what I'm saying? That was the main thing. Go to a shop. Now, as good as I was, still you go to a shop, you're still the worst one there. You know what I'm saying?
At least you feel like it mentally.
Yeah, exactly. So not knowing really the shop atmosphere, coming in there, but yo, super grateful for him understanding that, him knowing that. It was more him, he needed more barbers to take on the walk-in flow because he had clientele. And it was me like, you know, this is something new, a new path. You know, I was like, oh, let me try it. You know what I'm saying?
Experience at least.
I've worked all these other jobs. I already had basically clientele, you know what I'm saying? So being there, knowing that I can mold and perfect my crafts, you know? So I've made it very clear, like, I have a lot to learn, but if you want to teach me, you keep pushing me to come here, you know, I'm down to do it, you know?
Yeah.
So that was cool. And being there, doing pretty good, you know, taking a lot of walk-ins, having my regular clients that I already had, growing in experience more than anything. So more than the money aspect of it, I was growing in experience.
Yeah.
But he pushed me to go to barber school. He's like, go to barber school in case you ever want to open a shop or whatever. And I
So
never.
you were there first?
There first.
Okay.
There first.
So
never.
Damn, you got barbershop experience before that.
Before the school.
I did not.
So never thinking about going to school. That was never crossed my mind. He kept pushing towards it just because of the professionalism aspect of it, of how, you know, an inspector could write you up for not having a license. Things that I didn't really think of. The professional side of the business, you know.
Yeah.
And he kept pushing me to do it, so I was like, let me look into some barber schools, you know.
Yeah.
Sheridan Tech, where I met you, was just kind of a local school that I had heard the name of. You know, went to the barber program.
Well, it's local. It's right here by where we live.
Very close. It seemed very affordable compared to now. Years later, I've taught at multiple schools that charge way more than Sheridan Tech did. Sheridan Tech provided financial aid. It was local. It was close by. Signed up. My mom pushed me to, like, yo, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? You know, you should do it. And then bumping into you and kind of like launching. That was the first step, like launching into that career for real.
So he pushed you into barber school. That's cool.
Yeah.
Not push you, but like steered you.
Definitely encouraged. Yeah, definitely encouraged.
Yeah, for me it was like when I got back from doing that AT&T contracting job from Memphis, it was like, damn, like what am I gonna do now? And honestly, I have still not yet to been paid what I was making doing that.
Yeah.
Not even working for myself, bro. Not even doing everything I'm doing, bro. And fuck, man, I came back and I was working some warehouse job moving furniture that can't even fit in here.
Yeah.
Like can't even come through these doors. Huge furniture.
Yeah.
I think it was called Restoration Hardware is the furniture. And like it looks like furniture you have to have double doors at your house to put in. Like,
big shit.
You know, nothing I've ever lived in yet. And I was working there for a week and there's two managers. There's an office manager and a warehouse manager, and it's a logistic company that would take in the deliveries, and then you would take from the warehouse and you would send it out locally to people that ordered it, right? And the warehouse manager would tell us to take it off the trucks and put it in a location. But he wouldn't communicate with the office manager. And I guess the office manager knew a little bit better the logistics. So he would come out and he'd be like, yo, that can't go there. We got to move this over here. Right? So then we'd be moving this heavy, huge furniture twice. And then we take longer to load and unload the trucks. And then the warehouse manager would come and he would be like, yo, you guys got to move faster. You're behind. And then after a week of that, I'm already seeing that you two need to fucking communicate, and this could be better.
Yeah.
And y'all supposed to be grown-ass men, and you're in this leadership position, and you're not leading properly. So I got tired of it, and I told the warehouse manager, I said, you know, if you guys would communicate and we didn't have to move one thing twice, you wouldn't be having to tell us that we're running behind. And he looked at me, he told me, I pay you to work, not to talk. I'm telling you, a weekend, I don't work that way, bro. Nobody's going to talk to me like that, especially when I already feel smarter and I'm better at his job than he is.
Yeah.
I took off the shirt. I threw it at his chest. I won't even remember this guy's face, even if I ran into today, because I wasn't there long enough.
Yeah.
I took off the shirt, threw it at his chest, and I said, fuck you.
I'm out.
I'm smarter than you. I'm out. I'm not doing this shit. And I left. That was it.
Is that when you started cutting hair?
That's when I started cutting hair serious, but I never wanted to work in a shop. I don't know why I never wanted to work in a shop.
For a long time you said that.
Yeah. And it's crazy that today I'm not working in a shop.
Yeah.
But I started taking it serious. I bought everything I needed. This is before clippers were wireless. And I had a power strip so I could plug in all my clippers. And I started going to people's houses and cutting hair mobile, but I was only charging $20. So I went from $10 a cut in my garage, coming back from Memphis, charging 20. But I'm going to people's house for $20.
Yeah.
And I started getting so much customers that I was busy every day. My boys on the block, where you at? Cutting, bro. I'll be there later. Friday nights, I'm chilling. Every stop, I'm drinking.
But it had to be somewhere around then is when I hit you up to come to my house. And that was already me knowing how to cut hair. It was more like, I could get a cut. This is someone I know. It was like, why not? You know what I'm saying? I don't remember exactly when it was, but I just remember I hit you up and I was like, yo,
it was before barber school.
Yeah.
And it was a while before barber school, because I know I cut you a couple times, and then we didn't see each other for a while.
Yeah.
And then we ran into each other at barber school. But once I got talked to like that, he was like, man, I'm fucking better than this. I'm smarter than this. ain't nobody gonna fucking talk to me like this again. I can't get rid of this barber shit because even when I went to Memphis, I brought my clippers to cut myself because I knew I wasn't gonna go to a barber shop. And then what's crazy is I started going to car meets, and these guys would be like, "How is your haircut fresh and you just moved here?" It's like, I cut it. I started cutting people in Memphis.
Wow, that's crazy.
So no matter what, it stuck to me. So when I came back after a week, Buddy talked to me like that. I'm like, that's it, barbering. I told my mom I'm gonna go get my barber
that
license.
was kind of like that push, yeah. I was like,
I told my mom I'll get my barber license. She's like, you think you can make a living cutting hair? Here we are, you know?
but see, that's the thing too. I feel like family and friends, even me starting in barber school, very much frowned upon it. They didn't directly say it, but they very much looked at it like, it reminded me of just like when I was working at McDonald's. Like
back then, people looked down upon barbering.
Yeah.
I know for a fact.
I feel like barbers were close to be like, oh, you're just a garbage man. It was like low tier back. But now, as at least I've gotten older,
or you
I
were,
would have preferred to be a fucking barber than what I'm doing now.
or
Because you have more
only
median
people
time, you have more. It's
that-
more of being an entrepreneur
Yeah.
than being at a 9 to 5. Like you feel, because being a barber, you're like, yo, I don't want to work here a week. You
Being
know what
a-
that's going to do to you. You can do it, but you know what that's going to do to
being a successful barber.
you. Like being a successful.
There's
barber.
honestly a lot of people
Yeah,
that
sure.
come into this job or to come into this career and can't make it, bro. Like this shit eats them alive.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm definitely not gonna mention any names, but I met a few people that they got their license and it just wasn't for them, man. They got their license before me. They were in the same class and they come out and it wasn't for them, man. They just gave it up. Like literally spent all the time.
But see, that's also like, you know, because we've worked together, but like how I treat my barbers here through the interview process of interviewing a new barber, I tell them that I opened the shop to create a good culture and a good environment. So I'm not your boss. I'm not going to tell you what to do, whatever. So it's going to go, it's one way or the other. I'm going to give you all this freedom. You're either going to run with it and appreciate it, or you're going to kill yourself because you're going to be so lazy in the career.
You're gonna meet shop requirements because you can't deface my brand.
Exactly.
But you have the freedom because you pay for your section in the shop and it's your business.
Exactly.
You file your taxes for your business. So I feel you. 100%.
But that's why I always had that goal of like, it's a barber's barbershop. Like I ride or die for my barbers because they don't work for me. And that's what so many people, they walk a fine line of on this career because you are an independent contractor and so many people do not treat it like that. They treat it like they're an employee. They are independent. This is an apartment. This chair is an apartment. You pay rent, you come and go as you please. Now, everyone conducts their shop differently, but that's how it's supposed to be.
Yo, when I tell people how much I paid just for a barber chair in a barbershop, they're blown away by the price.
Yeah.
Like, what you think this is, bro? You think we out here just $20 a week for a chair?
No.
And we just collecting all this money and we get to drive a Mercedes
Yeah.
or whatever we want? Nah, bro.
Yo, I don't know how many times working for someone else, working at another shop, and like a client asking like, yo, how much is rent here? And I'll be like, oh, 200. They're like, oh, 200 a month, that's not bad. I'm like, no, 200 a week, bro.
This is South
They're
Florida.
like, what?
This is
Like,
South
yo, that's what it is.
Florida.
How you think I'm gonna pay the lease or the rent here, pay the internet, pay the electricity, pay the water
It's expensive, man.
if y'all paying 200? Like y'all with all these chairs calculated, like if y'all paying 200 a month, then I'm just gonna barely pay the bills here.
Exactly.
And
If that.
why am I even hosting this
So
shop
what would
for
be
you?
an incentive to have a shop? Yeah, for
Yeah.
that. Exactly.
So it's like you know this interview already. After barber school,
yeah.
was having your own shop always the goal?
All right, so let's backtrack to in barber
These are good
school.
questions, right?
So you know, in barber school, we were basically instructors within an already institutionalized environment. So we had an instructor that would give us guidance or whatever, but he would then tell people, watch Landon, watch Yoshi, watch Landon, watch Yoshi.
You guys are already there.
Because we were the most experienced ones there.
But Mr. SCIZZA and Yoshi were there for school too, so why are we doing his job?
Yo, but anyway,
We're not gonna say his name.
Yo, that little bit of doing that though, and it wasn't like it wasn't like we were against it. We liked helping our peers, you know what I'm saying, helping them grow. But doing that, I realized I was like, I'm doing the instructor's job now. That gave me the little push to be like, maybe I would like to teach. Maybe I would like to own a shop. Maybe I would like to host a hair show.
Yo, we were celebrities in barber
Yo,
school.
for real.
You're like, what the fuck are these guys? These guys know how to fade
Yo,
or they
Yo,
just got
but
here
look
this week.
at
Barber
this.
school gave me the confidence, bro.
Yo, but not to say nothing against no one, because everyone has their own career paths. But we were in there. We were favored and praised, and we have probably done the most successful out of all of our class. You know what I'm saying?
So it shows we were already at the
You
top.
have your own shop. Some people, like you guys said, some people fucking didn't even finish.
There's
They
people
finished
with
and then
there's people with a barber's license right now sitting at home like selling insurance over the phone. Nothing against that,
That's true.
Or they let it
But-
expire.
but it's now that license is just a cup holder at home. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, but they let it expire. But we're still friends with some of these dudes from barber school, man, and it's awesome. Like Tyler, bro, his Instagram, Your Barber Tyler.
yeah, and Tyler's
Fire,
killing it.
man. He's working at a different environment than I've ever worked, and I don't think I could ever work at the type of environment he works, because he's working at a barbershop where you have to do like 30 cuts a day, and you have to be quick, and I'm not that type of barber, and I have mad respect for him now because he was so quiet and shy.
Tyler's more at a dictative environment where he has a boss that's basically telling him what to do, but maybe that worked for him. You know what I'm saying? Now if he does anything, he's well equipped to do anything.
Well, for his personality, I think that pushed him.
Yeah, because he was very in a show. You know what I'm saying? So that
He's a
maybe
quiet
got him
guy.
more out there, more experience. You know, but you could tell
But he's
because he
awesome
always
now.
asked me or you to cut his hair. He was always very observant, very much pay attention, very much asking questions. You know what I'm saying? So he was gonna get there regardless. You know what I'm saying? That was just the route he chose, which wasn't a right or wrong route.
Honestly, is he the only one that I know that's cutting?
I honestly, the only one that I still have, I guess,
Sam, my dog Sam. But you weren't in the same class. See, me and you switched.
yeah. But I remember
at the
Sam. I
end.
remember Sam.
Sam's doing
So
good. But
Sam
his
has
dad
the
had
shop,
a barbershop.
yeah, and he took over the shop in downtown Hollywood.
Yeah, man, he's doing great. He's doing great.
Actually, Sam killed it. I don't know if you saw, maybe sometime last year, I remember a shop open walking distance from Sam's shop that they said, what, $10 haircuts? There's like $10 haircuts what they advertised, and then him being
trying
creative,
to undercut his shop.
trying to undercut his shop, who's been there, who's already a staple in that community. Then he put up a sign saying, "We fix $10 haircuts." I was like, yo, marketing genius
Right next
there.
door, like 2 doors away, bro.
2 doors away.
Mad respect to him. Mad respect to him.
Yo.
Mad respect to him, bro.
But just to compare, let's compare us four. Not right or wrong, but the different routes, right? So
And we're all successful.
So you entrepreneur from the start, like you kind of knew what you wanted to do. Tyler going into the more boss environment, Sam basically working for his dad, then taking over that environment. Me going shop to shop to
You've
shop
always been
to
an
creating my
entrepreneur
own.
too, though.
Yeah, in my own right, but I never had plans on opening a shop.
So that's back to the question. It wasn't always a goal to open a shop.
It wasn't a plan to open a shop. For me, it was more working at shops and not liking the way they conducted a shop, but also it was not in my place to say how they conduct a shop. The only way I could conduct a shop differently was if I owned a shop. So I learned through things I didn't like what they did. So no one telling me I don't like the way he did that. I don't like the way this owner does that. I don't like the way he treats the barbers. I don't like the way he treats the clients. I don't like the design of this shop. You know, it was a mix of that made me like I could do it better. You know, so it's not right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? Again,
Just
like
eventually being at the shops, you decided, you know, from all these things I've learned from these other owners and all these other shops I've been at, there's certain things I like, there's certain things I dislike, and now I feel like it's time.
exactly. And throughout the course of like
This podcast is gonna be a little longer.
and through I told you it's 2 episodes.
No. We're gonna get this one a little longer, but we gotta at least get to the last question.
So throughout the course of working at these shops, working for one shop, I remember helping them do the social media. So I basically did the social media for that shop. So that gave me insight into how social media runs. You know what I'm saying? So working at other shops, seeing more, being into the whole finances of it, seeing where he spends his money, how much bills are. Another shop more location, more creating a customer environment. So I basically just Mr. Potato Head this shit and put it all together into what I wanted.
Yeah,
Because
so-
I know I didn't want it to look like that. I didn't want to run it like this.
So what's crazy is I always wanted to be mobile.
And you said that from the beginning. From the
I said
get-go.
it from the beginning. And I had my little names for it. Obviously, it's not that now, but there was a point where after barber school that I just wanted to completely cut hair and make my living off of cutting hair. And I knew that I needed to at least get barbershop experience.
Yeah.
For the experience and for more clients. So you were at a barbershop and I hit you up and I was like, is there space?
Yeah.
And you had already at what, 2? That was your second one?
Yeah.
So that was your second shop. And by the time I got there, it was my first shop. I was shy. It was intimidating because all you guys were already fired. I knew I was good, but like, it just felt like you guys were on another level just because you've been in the shop and I just don't know that environment. But that first environment is what that first environment was good environment because it taught me the barbershop hustle.
Yeah.
But it also put me in that same position where I don't want nobody to be able to talk to me no type of way.
Yeah. Because it was still some type of
Somebody
superior
over
figure,
me,
some type of boss.
and he wasn't giving that.
And honestly, just most shops are like that where the owner makes
Most shops are like that.
Most shops make it seem like, yo, I want you to grow, and then you hit the ceiling and they don't want you to go higher than that. That's the problem because now they feel competitive knowing that you're just as good as them, or you could open up a shop on your own. You know what I'm saying? So
I felt that.
Yeah, exactly.
I felt that when I got there, maybe like, because I think I was only there 4 months before Strong Arm hit me up and told me him and his dad was opening a barbershop and he wanted me there bad.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go to the area because it was far from my area. I was worried about my clients not wanting to drive. But having what you're saying where I felt like, I don't want to even say it's jealousy because I don't want to put anybody in that position, but like,
Insecurities, bro.
maybe.
It's some type of insecurity or fear or something.
But a month in, there was a lot of customers that the barbers didn't want to take because maybe they didn't tip well or whatever it was, and I was just in that hustle.
Yeah.
So I was taking anybody and everybody, and I didn't have a chair that pumped up. The chair that I was in was broken at the time, and he let me pay less because I was new. It was my first time being in a barbershop. The chair was broken, so he was like, just pay this, and I was like, all right, cool. And it got to the point where he noticed that I was cutting a lot, and I felt that. And then he came to me, he's like, I need you to pay more. And I told him, look, because I was already an entrepreneur, I was like, in my mind, I was an entrepreneur, and I told him, look, I'm willing to pay more, but I need a barber chair. I need a barber chair that goes up like everybody else's. I'm not going to pay the same as they're paying, and I'm breaking my back. Because if not, I can go cut in my garage again, bro. Like, and he's like, all right, look up the chairs. But then it got into a whole nother thing, and sometimes I felt like some days he was angry, some days he was happy. Yeah. And he snapped on me one day.
His vibe coming in the shop dictated the whole vibe of the shop.
It did dictate the whole vibe of the shop. He was a good guy. He's a hard worker, and he still has his shop as far as I know.
Yeah.
And all he did was motivate me to leave and go to Chris's Strong Arm shop. And honestly, that was like the real start to me really loving this shit.
Yeah.
And I had the freedom because it was like me and Chris's shop, and it was just.
What I was gonna say, I know at Strong Arms, like, you ran it. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever agreement you guys had, but I know very much if it wasn't his, it was both of yours. Like, you guys ran that together. You know what I'm saying? Mainly you. So like that gives you now like owner experience without being an owner type. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We had our trials and tribulations. We fucked up. We even lost money. Somebody fucking played us like some scam. It wasn't too much, but it was, it was his pops' money because his pops was, the investor basically.
Yeah.
And like there was moments where he didn't want to be there, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but I was venting one day because it was frustrating. Like I really wanted to go somewhere, and he was just having the issues of it not feeling like his. and I said something to my girl, just venting, and I actually sent it to him, and like, I built from that, like, saying something to him I wish I didn't say. He's the only person I ever came to, and I said, and I apologized. Like, I sat down with him. I'm like, yo, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I was venting. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mean it. Like, I want this shit to do good. And like, out of all the people I know, like, you're one of the best people I know.
Yeah.
And that little thing was such a growing moment for me. Like, don't talk shit. You know, even if you vent.
But that was you taking, you know what I'm saying, taking responsibility, or can't even think of the word, but
Initiative.
yeah, exactly, for that statement.
For
you know
just me, like, you know, you
holding yourself accountable.
Yeah, holding yourself accountable
Yeah.
for what you're saying. Like, you don't want to hurt nobody.
Yeah, like,
especially
I
if you
acknowledge
care
I
about
said
them.
that. I just didn't mean it in that way. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I just frustrated because I want us to do good. And we sat down.
Because honestly, if you didn't care, you wouldn't care. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
would never say anything.
yeah.
I felt bad
You would
instantly,
say,
bro. Like,
fuck it, bro. If it goes under, it goes under. Fuck it.
like, and I'm the type of person, like, I wouldn't say I'm emotional, because I do, like, suppress my emotions. But like, even talking about our come up right now and all the things we've been through and where we're at now, like, it almost brings a fucking tear. Like,
You're passionate, bro.
like, bro, like,
That's what it is. What it is.
reminiscing on barber school and all this shit. Like, we've done a lot.
'Cause, you know, if you really
And I'm
think
glad we're
about
still
it,
here.
Yeah.
If
hell
you
yeah.
really think about it, like, I can still remember me going to Raymond's house and be like, "Where's Raymond? Oh, he's across the street. I went to your house. You're cutting his hair." And I could still remember that young little white kid I
Bro.
first met when I first met him. I'm like, "What the fuck?"
I had a
is going
power
on?"
inverter out the back of my
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah?
it was straight-
Before clippers were wireless, plugging in one clipper at a time,
Yeah.
cutting Raymond's hair on the sidewalk, bro, like, in the neighborhood.
Like literally, I don't know. No, it was in your side of your house or in the front of your house when I seen you. You were cutting Raymond's stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What the fuck?"
And then after Cool Cuts, I decided to go plumbing because a friend of mine's dad owns a plumbing company. He's been plumbing his whole life. I started doing like random odd jobs with them.
Started laying the pipe.
I started laying the pipe.
Yes,
And, you know, it's only right. It's only natural. I've been doing, you know, I was born to do this shit. So
Second nature.
PVC.
So-
pipe.
the barbershop, you know, because there was a lot of hands involved with Cool Cuts and, you know, the barbershop with Chris. And we both were kind of getting frustrated, and it was hard to find barbers, and it was just a bunch of logistics issues with too many people
Yeah.
involved. And I can see him kind of dwindling away from the motivation.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And there was things I'd see in the barbershop that just frustrated me. And, you know, the only thing I can knock with the barbershop atmosphere is if you're trying to get to a certain level, no matter what, a barbershop, you're going to have other barbers, and their environment rubs off onto your environment. And in that certain instance, I didn't feel like I can grow. Chris was kind of dying out mentally and physically from wanting to be involved. And there was one day I came and I see something I didn't like, and I literally, like, when I make these decisions, it's kind of bad because my customers feel it, but I feel like it's like the only way to make a decision, man, is just do it.
Well, you know, like, if you don't do it now, you're not gonna do it type.
Or just, you're wasting time if you don't.
Yeah.
So there was something I came in, I seen that I didn't like, and I canceled all my appointments for the rest of the day after I cut the couple that were gonna come, and I didn't want to cut them off too early. I canceled all my appointments for the week. I told them, look, I'm not able to cut this weekend. I'll let you know what's going on. And I literally just went home. I had the bus at the time. I've been working on it, and I honestly didn't plan on leaving. I planned on using the bus and being there because I just loved it. I wanted Cool Cuts to grow. And I went and got the bus because I didn't have a car at the time. Came back, picked up all my shit, and left. Told my customers, like, look, I didn't like the environment no more. I'm not gonna be cutting at the moment. I'll let you know what's going on. And I started plumbing full time. And it was a while that I was plumbing, trying to finish the bus.
And was that more like the plumbing? Was that more the incentive was more like the money is good, so I could build the bus faster.
No, it was more of I didn't want to jump to another shop. I wanted to have my own shit next.
Yeah, it was like next thing's mine.
Next thing is mine. So I did that, but then it got to the point where I was there too long. The bus was taking too long, and eventually I was just like, you know what, I need to work on the bus. So for you, the barbershop wasn't always in the plans. It was just over time you decided, you know, I want to take the things I like and don't like out of these barbershops I worked at and create my own.
Well, even with these flashbacks and these memories we're talking about, there's a lot of like holes and gaps in between. You know what I'm saying? So
Quickly, this is probably what you're going to answer.